Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Wisdom Delights and good to see you. I've been actually thinking of making the video about Mercury going direct for like last few days, but I understand there's a lot of chaos was happening, a lot of negative energy around because July was like a crazy month and like I've been trying and like there's something comes up, sometimes my computer shuts off suddenly by itself and then sometimes my camera is not working, like and it's like a lot of emotional rift and emotions are going here and there, so I could feel that energy when Mercury is actually coming to go be on a point where it's going to be stationary. So currently Mercury is stationary and it is in its own sign of Gemini currently, and it is in the nakshatra of Punarvasu. Rejuvenate yourself with all the new strength, all the new power to take a step forward now, going forward in a positive direction. You know, find out some time, actually I would say at least an hour or half an hour also, if it works for you, to just sit and meditate for a while and gain all that positive energy into yourself. Whatever a lot of tussle was going on in the month of July, and as we know that a lot of chaotic energy was there. Like Mercury was going retrograde in the sign of Cancer and in the sign of water sign, sign of emotions, and retrograde shows like it was, a lot of turbulence was there. And then from July 7th till 31st, now stationary is just a 2 days period where it's gaining its strength back and going to take a leap forward. Then again, the solar eclipse was there on July 2nd, and then Venus conjunct began, and then Mars and Sun conjunction began, while Ketu and Saturn were already conjunct, like a lot of coldness, separative energy, a lot of solitude and helplessness and no support at all kind of feeling. And so I mean there was no sign of relief, and then also there was lunar eclipse again. So the whole month was a combination of emotional rift, emotional turbulence, and trying to figure out the right path and the right ways for yourself, taking that break and using that time to just mellow down and just be in your little shell kind of thing. So now what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about the Mercury going direct now, and this is actually one sign of big relief here when we are entering the month of August. So I really wanted to talk about it, and for that I first would like to quickly touch the sign of Mercury here and talk about what Mercury is and what it represents, and where did planet Mercury come from, and about the existence of planet Mercury. So it is from our ancient scriptures. From Hindu mythology, our scriptures talk about it, and the story where Mercury came from. And it is also the planet called Buddha. So Buddha, or you can say Buddha, that's the planet. Now the story goes like this, that once Chandra, the planet moon, met Tara. So Tara is the wife of planet Brihaspati, that is Jupiter. So Tara is Jupiter's wife, and once Chandra meets Tara, and he became very fascinated by Tara, and what he does is he abducts Tara, and who is the wife of planet Jupiter, and elope with her. So now then he makes union with Tara, and then Tara becomes pregnant and gives birth to the planet Mercury. So that's how Mercury came into existence. But then what happens when Mercury is born? So then Jupiter becomes very angry about it, and then he declares war against Moon. So what happens was all the gods and demigods, they go on the side of Jupiter to take part in the war. And uh, Guru Shukracharya, that is the planet Venus, with its disciples, all the demons, he goes towards the side of moon to take part in the war. So soon they realize that it's going to be a very destructive war. So what do they decide is that all the gods, they finalize that in order to end the war, they have to come to a conclusion here and intervene here. So what they do is they intervene and they return Tara to back to her husband Jupiter. So that's how the story of planet Mercury, the birth of planet Mercury, comes. Now, what are the characteristics of this planet? So the planet Mercury actually represents the combination of both male and female genders within himself. And it also is represented as being very mild and eloquent, very soft and soft kind of planet, and it is having a greenish complexion. So it also represents flexibility, and it also represents the adolescent age, like Kumara Avastha, which is called in Hindi. So the adolescent age of somewhere like the teenage kind of age, or the teenage mentalities also can be seen with planet Mercury. And planet Mercury is greatly influenced by the house it is posited in, and or what else it is like. If it is posited with any planet, he gets very much influenced with that planet, or if he's getting any aspect of any other planet, he gets influenced by that planet as well. So whatever planet he sits with or getting an aspect from, this Mercury gets very much influenced. Now in astrology, especially the Vedic astrology, Mercury is considered as the benefic planet, and unless it is joined or conjoined with a malefic planet, in which case Mercury also becomes a malefic planet. So planet Mercury rules over the sign of Gemini and Virgo, and it is exalted in its own sign of Virgo and debilitated in the sign of Pisces. And Mercury is friendly with the planet Saturn, planet Venus, and it is enemy with the planet Moon, Mars, and Jupiter, and it is neutral towards other planets. Now, Mercury is the lord of three nakshatras in the 27 nakshatras, total of 27 nakshatras. So these are Shalesha, Jeshta, and Revati nakshatras. And the color that is represented by Mercury is green, and the metal that is represented by Mercury is brass. And the gemstone which is usually recommended if Mercury is auspicious in your chart, or if you want to get the auspicious results of this planet, so that is emerald. Now Mercury, what things does it represent? It represents duplicates, it represents copying things, duplicating things, producing doubles and couples of things. So the couples, especially when it's siblings, like two of the siblings represented by Mercury, and sibling figures like teammates, your teammates at work, your office mates, as players, when they come together in teams, that is represented by the planet Mercury. So anything related with the two double things and all that, set of two, that is also that is represented by Mercury. And other things that is related by Mercury and represented by it is like writing, announcement, telling the news. Like it's the sign of Gemini, right? So the third house, those things come into play here. So it is also representing intelligence. It represents intellectual thinking abilities, communications, analysis abilities, understanding, sensing things. And it also represents the subjects of science and especially mathematics. And also people who have good Mercury, they have a very good business sense. That is also something that can be seen in with good Mercury. And with good education, Mercury plays a very good role here. And it also represents the areas of research. Now, also with the handy thing, like again, as I said before, the third house, it's a sign of third house, the sign of Gemini. So it also represents the third house things, that is handcrafts and doing things by hand, being dexterous, and all those kind of thing. That eagerness to learn comes into play. Curiosity, people who gossip a lot sometimes can be seen when they have a very afflicted and bad Mercury. So argumentative people, gossiping and a lot of talking, and people who are curious about other people's affairs, that is also can be seen with the planet Mercury here. Now also the third house also relates with the planet Mercury, the way it is. So that's how planet Mercury also represents small businesses, small commerce, trades, cooperations and collaborations with people. That can be seen here. Consulting works and all those things can be seen here. Now, sales and marketing professions can be seen with planet Mercury, and people who are very clever and shrewd. And sometimes it also shows with bad Mercury. You also see people are very discriminatory, and but other on the other side, when it's good, it also shows the awakening, like spiritual awakening also can be seen here, as also because it is also called Buddha is the Lord Buddha himself. So that's how the we see that name also is given to the planet Mercury. So now I'm going to be talking about Mercury going direct, as it is already started its direct motion after July 31st, by today, like August 1st and so on. Now it's going to enter the sign of Cancer, and it's going to join the other planets that are already there in the sign of Cancer. That is Sun, Venus and Mars. So that is going to be a very crazy, heavy energy there in the sign of Cancer. A lot of emotional stuff is still happening, but at least with the sign of Mercury getting direct, there's a lot of relief that we are all going to feel at this point. Again, Mercury is going to be acting like other planets there when it is very closely come in close contact with the other planets here in the sign of Cancer. But then going forward, by somewhere like August 7 and 8, the planets will start to move towards the sign of Leo. So a lot of creative energy, emotional energy, love, romance, and new things, and all that recreation kind of activities can be seen here. Now, let me open up that software of JHora so that I can, bring this up in front of you. You can take a look how the planets look like in your own birth chart. What are the transits happening, and what are the positions of those planetary transits? So just give me a moment here. Let me take it up. So. So there you go. So what I have done here, I have actually selected August 5th here, like entering into the month of August. We see here Sun is already in Cancer at 15 degrees by August 5th. Moon will be at 27 degrees. Mars will be somewhere 25 degrees. Now let's go to the sign of Cancer. For Cancer ascendants, now, for Cancer ascendant people, it's actually the whole transit is happening in the first house. So Mercury is in your first house, and it is lording the sign of, it is actually lording the 12th house and the third house. Now, this is very, very serious transit that is happening. All the four planets are joined here in the first house. For the cancer ascendant people, it's going to be really heavy period. You're going to feel, you must be feeling the energy already while Mercury was in that that phase of retrogression and coming direct. Like last month has been really, really heavy on you guys, and now the Mercury is now getting direct here. It's going to be a lot of relief, I would say, and a lot of opportunity for your growth, and new things are coming up. For some people, I have seen and I have heard new things have started to kick in their lives, and all for good. And people are taking like new courses and stuff like, and because Mercury, again, it is related with the education too, right? So all the things, if you want to do some writing skills, like that can be seen here. If you want to show your writing that you have done before, because it's the sign of Mercury's it's lording the third house here. So it is in your first house. All your creative abilities you can show, and all the, especially your writing abilities, if you want to bring in front to this time, this is a very favorable time. And now also it is talking about the from the third house and the 12th house. It talks about your personality, it talks about your gestures, your communications. Again, it is talking about that. So that is a time where you want to show like what are all the communicative qualities you have, and the communicative movements it's showing, right? So then from the 12th house, it is also from the 12th house, it is sitting in the first house. So it is like it is very auspicious time for you guys to actually meditate, connect with the higher realms, connect with the higher cosmos, because the third house shows the different astral world, right? So you want to take best use of take the best use of this time period. And now with that, you are going to have, like, here it also says, it also talks about the fourth house. Now if you are looking to buy a house, if you are looking to buy a property, buy a vehicle, because seventh, the sign of Libra is in these is your fourth lord, and that is also the sign of planet Venus. And Venus is sitting in your first house. Now it's transiting your first house, but like if by any chance you are also running the Mahadasha or Antardasha of Venus, and Venus otherwise is also in a good placement in your natal chart, then it is a very good time to buy property. It is a very good time to buy vehicle, like all those good things. Like if it is a very good time to renovate your house. So all those things, if you are thinking of taking action towards that, it is a good time for that. And again, I would say, just chant the mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now let's go towards the sign off. Let me check if it is still working. You have that software on your screen intact. Okay, so let me take it to the sign of Leo here. So now for Leo ascendants, Mercury is actually transiting the 12th house, and it is lording the 11th house and the second house. So here you would see that, I mean, it will be little, I would say it will be little kind of period where you are like, the second house, Mercury is lording the second house, which shows that there is going to be a lot of accumulation of family wealth towards like the joint family assets. And because the Mercury is sitting at 11th from its where it's lording the second house, it's sitting the 11th place from itself, but at the same time it is the lord of 11 sitting in the 12th house. So it is going to be a give and take situation where you also are gaining things, and things are not getting accumulated, but you feel that there is something happening in and out, churning of things are happening here. Now again, here I would say, because everything is happening in the 12th house, all the planets, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Sun, are sitting in the 12th house. You are going to feel a lot of 12th house energy here. You're going to feel like you want to stay maybe all by yourself. You want some quiet place for yourself. You want to maybe go for like a place where you just like stay and meditate, and spiritual retreat kind of center. And you want spiritual guidance, you want that astral things, you want to feel that energy, and you feel like disconnected from the social world at this time. And those kind of things are very important for you at this point of time. And you also get some kind of intuitions and dreams and visions. And at this point you're because especially when from that 12th house, when it is going to be moving to the first house, all the planets passing that Gandanta zone, from that is from 29 degree Cancer to 0 degree of Leo, in the, like, especially right now when they are in the moving from the sign of from the nakshatra Ashlesha. So you want to embrace all the good things coming into your life, because all the signals that your ancestors are giving you, that you're getting your all parallel life indications that you're receiving, your kind of vision is very much opening up at this point, and new things, new beginnings are going to begin for you, and you're going to, all these planets are going to enter the first house for you, and it's going to be complete transformation of your spiritual existence. You would be feeling like so much spiritually heightened and enlightened at this point if you use this energy in a very positive manner. Mantra jap is very important. Chant lots of mantras, chants, like the chant lots of uh, times the same mantra. Like I would say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So now for Virgo ascendant people here, Mercury is transiting your 11th house while it's direct, and it is the lord of the 10th house and the first house. So that is again, like, it's a very, very auspicious time for all the Virgo ascendant people. It's amazing time. It is, your first lord is sitting 11th from itself, and the 10th lord is sitting in the 11th house. Now it's a double gain for these people, but at the same time I would also look at the position of the sun now. Kind of lost kind of energy is also involved here, with 8th lord and 12th lord sitting together with Mercury, because Mars is together with Mercury as 8th lord. So be very careful here, like you would be looking at these sudden events happening, sudden changes happening, but Mercury is going to be direct, so it is actually trying to be very positive. A lot of emotional things are involved with the sign of Cancer. New things coming up, and gains are happening, like whatever things you've been thinking of achieving during this time, if you have been trying to look for change of business opportunities, or looking for a change of business venture, or getting into a new thing, or adding up some new line of product to your business, that is a good period here. And gains through the family too, and family recreation period is on the cards here, because all the planets are sitting in the 11th house, and then Mercury and Venus are the auspicious planet here. They are the benefics sitting in the 11th house in the sign of Cancer. So I would say, like, I would say, if you are running by any chance, if you are running Mercury period, then it will be going to be a very favorable period for you, and it is going to give you lots of strength to go ahead in life, move, take new steps, and if you are like in a career, like you might be seen as somebody who has done really new things in your business or in your career, or at the place of work, especially in the company where you work. Your good efforts, you will be seeing that are being rewarded at this time. You are given some kind of awards and rewards, and that kind of thing you can see here. And your personality is going to shine at this point of time in between your colleagues, and your business competitors also. You're going to be really surprised at your accomplishments at this point of time. So a very good time, I would say. And again, it is going to be, all the planets are going to be moving towards the 12th house, and suddenly it might be like you suddenly it is a very period of very like high energies, and suddenly it's going to enter, you would feel like entering into your own little shell, your own hidden zone by the mid of this month. So be very careful of that, for that to safeguard that kind of energy that binds you in a little shell. So for that, again, chant the mantra Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that was all for all the Virgo ascendant people.